This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Hi there. Blue noses everywhere, all around the world, all over the UK, and particularly those in Bexhill-on-Sea, if there are any. Now, if you're wondering what the change of appearance is, well, I accidentally shaved off my beard on Saturday, which may or may not have had something to do with our defeat. But I put on the hat, and if you look at my avatar on Twitter, that's the real me. That's what I should look like. But anyway, let's not go there anymore. We'll talk about Saturday first. Well, I must admit it was a strange feeling. I just couldn't see us ever losing again. I mean, wasn't like we'd played substandard opposition. We hadn't. We'd played probably the best that this league has to offer, and swept them all aside. But also in the back of my mind was the fact that somebody was going to work out that it wasn't possible to beat us by chasing us all over the pitch early doors and exhausting themselves. As long as we kept reasonable possession, basically they were gonna fade, and that's what was happening. Now Charlton, to their credit, didn't do that. They set up in a line across the front and stopped the two wide people getting out. Like a basketball defence where you surround the bloke with the ball inside his own half and he can't get out, and that's basically what they did. So we more than normally we started lumping balls down the channels, and their giant defenders, if it was in the air, they gobbled it up, and basically, if it wasn't, they just bundled our blokes over and cleared the ball. Also, the only way we could get beat was probably by a fluke goal, and that's what happened. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Charlton. It was our fault that the ball bounced across the front of the goal, and their bloke tapped it in. Uh, you know, that was a fact, and one goal was enough, and they hung on for dear life. We failed. We failed miserably to attack their goal. We didn't have a shot on goal all the way through the 95 minutes or whatever it was, and frankly didn't deserve to win. And people to blame. I mean, fans sometimes annoy me where they got to point a finger at somebody. Well, our goalkeeper, who obviously was in the side because the fingers had been pointed at somebody else, didn't cover himself with glory with his passing out. But the difference was he recovered those mistakes. He dived on, he passed the ball straight out to somebody, and he immediately dived on the ball to recover the situation. He made a save which pushed the ball wide, and their bloke caught up with it and couldn't square it into the net. And that was it. He was at no fault with the goal. He couldn't have done anything about that. It was our defence's fault. And then we shouldn't have took May off. We should have took May off, and so on and so forth. The gaffer got it wrong. Not helped by the loss of Bielik just before half time, who's now out for a few weeks. But on the bright side, we've got plenty of people to replace him, and it's unfortunate, but it's not desperate. So trundled back to the south coast amongst the Charlton supporters, who suddenly, I mean, I know a fair number of Charlton supporters living down here, but I've never known derision given to a team like that before. It's suddenly we are the new Man City, Man United, or anybody, or Liverpool, and everybody hates us. I heard one bloke behind me say that the reason why teams like Birmingham win leagues is because they get every decision going. Well, if you look at your facts, mate, we committed 18 fouls to your 11. So I think the referee was, the referee was fine. He did nothing wrong at all. But he actually favoured you over us. Nothing, nothing to be said about that. And that's it. Oh, dear me, my computer's going doolally. But that's just there's nothing more to be said. We lost. Um, we're still top. We still got a game in hand, and we take on Lincoln City in a fortnight's time. Now, Lincoln City, a bit of a surprise, being as high as they are. Um, but the reason they and Mansfield, for example, are higher in the table than they perhaps ought to be is the fact that all the teams that should be in that top half of the table, we've beaten. So your Peterboroughs and Wiggins and so on and so forth are below those teams because we haven't played Lincoln yet and we haven't played Mansfield yet. So, looking at the table, thinking, "Oh my goodness, we're going to play hard." We haven't. We're going to play a team that are no better now than when they started, and that's not decrying them at all. They are who they are, and we should not be looking forward for disasters. Anyway, we with 6 players out on international duty and another 5 or 6 injured, we took on the mighty Shrewsbury in the EFL Trophy, where we were actually under pressure, real pressure, because the way the table stood, if we'd lost, we'd have been out. And as it was, the shadow squad basically wiped the floor with Shrewsbury, and the only disappointment really was we didn't get more than 4. They had a goal disallowed, which again, the manager said afterwards that goal should have stood. Well, he wants to learn the laws of the game. The bloke was standing in front of our goalkeeper, a yard from goal, and when the ball went past the keeper, and it was disallowed because he was interfering. Simple as that. Get a life, Mister Manager. Stop making excuses. Now, so who starred in this game? Well, Chris Wright got a couple. One a tap in, the ball came back to him off the post, and he tapped that in. The other was a wonderful right-footed swipe from a right wing cross, which he smacked into the roof of the net, and Iwata did the same. So it was 3-0 half time, and he pulled a few off, and we got one more goal, a very welcome goal for young Hansford. It's his first goal, and he got it with his first touch when he came on the pitch. So the old mastery of possession was there, 70-odd%. We passed the ball, very, very sweetly. Very rarely did they, other than the first sort of 20 minutes till 8 minutes before we scored. They did get in the way occasionally, but that soon got sorted out. And it was good on the eye. It was not only was it a good performance, it was good on the eye. We looked a competent team again, and now we all know that Shrewsbury aren't the bee's knees in this division, but neither are Charlton really. They're halfway down, still about 9 points behind us with a game in hand. What have we got to worry about now? Some other excellent news. Pak Young Ho, who's off in Korea playing for his national team, has signed a 4-year extension to his contract, be it till 2028. Wonderful news. I mean, if you see, if he's if he wants to change his mind sometime between now and 2028 and leave, then he's going to cost 20 million at least for somebody to buy, because he's on such a long contract, and his value has rocketed by doing that. And also, Keshi Anderson has extended his contract for a couple of years past the end of this season, and that's a reward for some great efforts. I mean, personally, I like him. I like his attitude to the game. He goes on and has a go, and he knows as well as we do that every time he goes on the pitch, he's uh, on trial. Um, he doesn't have that regular spot, but he's done enough for us over the last 12 months to warrant an extension to his contract. And I say, well done, mate. Good on you. That's I would like to see that kind of effort rewarded. Now, as I say, we've got a gap this week. I don't know what on earth I'm going to do myself. I don't know what time the England match kicks off, so I'm going to find myself something to do on Saturday afternoon. Now, I usually turn to non-league matches for this, but who knows? We'll see. Um, everybody I speak to who's interested in football has the same opinion. Oh, it's another international weekend. Your team is what it is, and whether you win, drawn or lost the last game, you don't want to wait for a fortnight to put it right. It's ludicrous, and to me, all these qualifying games could be played in May. All the competitions forward. All these gaps in the program should be filled up, and play all the qualifying games in May each year, when everybody has finished their season and there's no conflicts. There's people have won what they've won. They've been relegated and whatever, and the season's over, and they can concentrate on their international commitments. And us football fans can enjoy our weekends as the Lord made Saturdays to be. Yeah, and let's have fewer games played on Friday nights, Monday nights, Sunday afternoons, Saturday mornings. We all know who's responsible for that, but that's my opinion. I don't like my Saturday afternoon messed with. Right, so the boys in blue are back in the saddle, so to speak. Um, the injuries are starting to clear up. We saw the return of Sanderson last night, who looked fit and played pretty well, passed the ball nicely, and was good enough to be saved. He came off with about 20 minutes to go, and they brought Clara on, who'd been sitting on his backside, picking his nose. I mean, if you have a rest, you have a rest. Stay away. Don't be sitting there wait to come on because the person who's taken your place gets relieved. It's not the way to do it. It should have been another player who needed some time on the pitch coming up. Okay, that's it for me this week. God bless you all. We look forward to Lincoln. I must admit, I can't remember. I can't remember us playing there for a long, long time. Certainly in my lifetime, and it's 65th anniversary of me going to the Blues this next week. I can't remember us going to Lincoln. I remember us signing Trevor Mathewson from Lincoln, and when Lincoln went down into the conference, which was a bit of a shock for them. They took them a bit of time to get out again. Um, but I can remember us playing Lincoln City once, and that was in the Leyland Daff or whatever it was called, and it was when times and times were desperate, and we played them at home in one of the early rounds, like we are at the moment, and there was 2,500 people there. Remember that, 2,500 people. That's in the late 80s. That's how bad we got. So anyway, God bless you all. See you next week. Don't forget to watch the Tilton Talk Show, which is not on next week, so the international break. But after the Lincoln game, it will be on the Monday, and yours truly and the gang will be chewing the fat as we always do, and it's become a very agreeable show just lately. We don't argue about who's right and who's wrong anymore because when you're winning, everybody agrees. And even after Saturday, we all conceded that what we'd all seen the same sort of thing and expected it to be put right prompter. But anyway, as I say, God bless you all. See you soon.